how do we enhance the rider earnings a little bit more, through which the rider practices sustainable in his own way, which is enabling the customer to achieve the entire TCO. First, trust somebody, because when you start trusting somebody, you get out of a fear sense, and all the things that you make are, then you believe in the person, you believe in his capability and the ability to lift people along with you. Once you measure and you're transparent about it and you make it visible to everyone, I think the first step is already taken, and then improvements will follow. In Linkmiles, we are saying that our AI will actually look at what is the driver behavior that we would like to get, so that the driver earns more, and the driver earns more in his own way. We are making it very practical for him. He will be retained in the business better, and he will use the EV vehicle, because of which his earnings will go up, and therefore that is towards the larger cause of sustainability or larger cost of net zero in the overall sense.
Yeah, hi, welcome to 2 Degree Talk, a Fitsol talk on sustainability and climate action, where we are trying to bring people who are creating impact in the field of sustainability and climate action. Today with me is one of the most, we can say, a guest who has impacted a lot in my career, Mr. Shankar Ramalingam. He is my ex-boss and mentor. He has around 40 years of experience across varied industry, starting from Godrej. In his last profile, he's still working even after retirement. He's still working and supporting startups, and he's still mentoring them. Plus, he has also founder of a new company, which he is leading to the next horizon. So please welcome, sir, to this podcast.
Thank you, Anand. A pleasure being here with you. It's been a long journey that we both had, and nice connecting with you back and being on your podcast.
So, sir, if I see, it has been a long journey, and generally 40 years plus, starting from Godrej, mostly in the manufacturing industry to start with, then service industry, and now in a startup world. And if you would like to sum up this entire journey in kind of one sentence or so, I would not like to stick to one sentence, but journey like that, how will you describe this journey?
It's a tough call to summarize a 40-year journey in one sentence, but let me try to give my best. It's been a 4-decade-long journey. I've worked with legacy companies like Godrej, then I moved on to iShare, then Tata Motors, TVS, and for a brief while an international company called Foton, and now I'm my own startup. It's been a journey of building, transforming, and learning all through, and I've thoroughly enjoyed this journey. But one thing, cutting across sectors, cutting across size, whatever I've done, if I were to summarize it in 2 sentences, it's all about clarity of purpose and execution discipline. I think if you get these 2 things right, I think then the needle will keep moving and you move along the journey of your career.
That's what is, I think, is keeping you moving even after a huge, long career of 40 plus years. With the same energy, what I have seen, I think, 10 to 12 years back?
12 years back,
yes,
yeah.
Almost same energy I am seeing currently also. Okay, so just for the sake of the audience, if you would like to describe or tell something, one hobby or some quirks about you, which most of the people might not be knowing, someone definitely close to you might be knowing, but most of the audience who is listening, if they would like to know about you, any hobbies or any quirks.
Well, something which many people don't know about me is I do cook well. I do cook South Indian food. That's something many people don't know. And I also listen to old Tamil songs, movie songs, especially live performances. So these are 2 things which I've generally not put it out in the public. But yeah, maybe first through your podcast, people will come through know about it.
Yeah, so I think yes. I have stayed in Chennai for around 3 years or so, and I'm still the kind of miss Chennai food. I like them a lot. And generally when I visit Chennai, the first thing I try to see is restaurants which I'm missing out. Well, generally very good and diverse food they also have as a city. Now, I think out of this again is a tough question according to me, because you have worked in different industries in different role and capacity. What according to you is one of the most challenging role and which you liked a lot and it kept you pushing kind of thing? Definitely startup is one, I think that might be, but I don't want to put words because your career has been very, very long. So only one challenging role or assignment.
Okay, I mean, though you said it's a tough question to answer, it's a simple question to answer. The most challenging part of my career was the IPO project lead work that I did for the last 2 years of my career. I worked with the chairman of TVS supply chain, Mr. Dinesh, directly, and we were into taking the company public, and I was leading the project. So it involved deep amount of coordination, both internally, cutting across finance, legal, operations, and business teams, and also with the external agencies, which were the investment bankers, the law firms, the audit firms, PR agency, etc. So it was the most exciting part of the journey, and that was a culmination of an end of a 4-decade of career. So I enjoyed it thoroughly. And the best part of it was when standing on the NSE platform, when the gong rang and we could see the TVS sticker, SCS sticker, and the share price get listed. It was a dream come true for thousands of people across the globe who had thought about a journey 15 years ago that this company will go public. And I'm glad that I could play a very leading part in it along with the entire team out there. So that is the most exciting part of my career.
Definitely. IPO is something which culminates. That's, I think, major goal of most of the company. So outside the career, something which has kept you kind of grounded because you have achieved a lot in life, according to me. And most of us, we inspired to be something, achieve something like you, and I think have the same energy at your whatever you have achieved after that, also same energy and vigor. So what is something which has keep you grounded or so?
What keeps me grounded is the kind of interaction that I have people with who work on the shop floor. Say, let's take the current job that I'm co-founding a company, Linkmiles, which is into last mile delivery business. So when we talk to the riders, the boys and the girls, or when in my previous assignment when I was a CEO of TVS supply chain, when you talk to the shop floor executives or to the warehouse operators, the amount of knowledge and the insight that you get from them would be far better than what you would get when you are sitting in a boardroom or when you're talking to somebody. The frontline people really tell you the realities of life, and those realities of life are what exactly helps you in scaling up any business or whatever it is. So that's something which I always look forward to, and I'm deeply connected with the people on the ground, and that keeps me grounded as well to understand this is the reality with which we are building a business.
Yes, definitely that. Now, before shifting gear to some other segment, what in your long career, 40 plus, what is one piece of advice that you still remember? I remember at least 2-3 advices very, very vividly from you. And last one, I think I just was telling before this podcast with you that you don't only need to work hard, you need to sell yourself also. That's still there in my mind. And there are many lot. But some advice that still stand out for you in last 40 years that you still follow and you think it's something that you can share with the audience.
No, I'm first of all glad that you resonate so well and you remember what I talked about a couple of years ago, and that's made an impact in you. And you're one of the most successful entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, and I'm glad that this has resonated with you and I've been able to mentor you or help you to some extent. Coming to my life, I would say that trust is something that I learned long back in life, that first trust somebody, because when you start trusting somebody, you get out of a fear sense, and all the things that you make are then you believe in the person, you believe in his capability and the ability to lift people along with you. So always they say that when you grow, you have to lift people along. So the trust enables me do that. And the second thing is all your decisions are easy because you don't go with the fear that what will happen, because I believe I give a lot of things that trust as a core. And this I learned way back maybe in the 4th or 5th year of my working career, and therefore I still practice it and I value it very much.
Completely agree, sir. Because my nature is also same. I blindly trust most of the thing as it is status quo, and I think that give anybody a chance to break my trust. Otherwise, I am very, very happy. I trust everyone. I resonate completely with that. Now, let's come into the core section of this podcast where we talk to the guest about sustainability, climate tech space, because most of our audience wants to know real life example, what is happening in this and how we can contribute to the environment. So my first question would be, you have diverse experience in the manufacturing side of the industry and then service. So how you have entered into the sustainability space through your new startup? What brings to you? What you have thought and why you are trying to solve it right now?
Okay, it's an interesting story. I mean, I stay in an apartment complex where there are about 500 flats, and every day I take a walk around. And in the evenings especially, and in the evenings around 8ish when I walk around, I see literally hundreds of delivery boys coming to deliver something. So this thing of, the quick commerce, e-commerce, consumption that's taking place in India is an exciting arena to be in, because everybody wants convenience. But when I deeply thought about it, convenience is coming at a cost to environment today. Because there is all the guys that I see coming and delivering in the last mile, be it with the 3-wheelers, 2-wheelers or whatever it is, are using ICE vehicles. And I thought that, look, is there a solution that we can find where, without compromising on the convenience or the consumption pattern that is evolved in India, what can we do to make it sustainably? And that thought process came to me, and I said we must do something about it. And at Linkmiles, we thought that electrification of the last mile is one of the ways in which we could have this convenience, but yet coming at no impact or little impact to the environment, and sustainability as a way forward.
Okay, I just thought, so how does this name come, Linkmiles? So mile is last mile, huh? Is
Exactly.
it part of that?
Last mile is how do we link consumption with the the last mile convenience that we want to. Okay. That's how we came up with this Linkmiles as a concept for our business.
Nice name. Now, this is also some part of the logistic industry. Prior to this, you were working with TVS supply chain. That was also mostly into the logistic side of the business. So I was reading data. So supply chain contributes almost, if we see even raw material supply chain, then it contributes more than 50% of the global emissions in terms. So definitely it plays a very, very important role, logistics, in the sustainability sector. So can you give some example how logistics can play a role in our net zero target that globally we have taken by 2050 or 2060, 70 in India case? How is it going to play a role? What are some of the real life example you can give?
I think sustainability and net zero target is something that has to be really evolved, and it has to be practiced. Logistics can play a great role. I mean, coming from a supply chain background, we always look at how do we solution and how do we deliver value to our customers. Now, the part of logistics that we always used to do was in two areas, which is in the area of cost or in the area of delivery or quality of service. But from there, if we have to move into zero emissions and and doing it sustainably, so I think the mindset should shift from just in time to just in impact. If I were to use a new word, how do I reduce the impact by doing all this? One of the things that we could probably look at is how do we do electrification of the entire fleet, whether it's mid-mile, last mile. How do we have a shared infrastructure? Because infrastructure is one more area where if you are able to share the infrastructure, then it will be easy for the lesser the carbon prints that is left out in moving material from A point to B point. And another area where, of course, you guys are working on very heavily is in packaging. That's an area where I thought that warehousing, packaging, and in transportation, especially in the last mile, electrification would play a significant role from logistics, what we can contribute to net zero as a target that one company takes forward.
Yes, definitely. And at least for India, I think 13% GDP is logistic is part of it. So I think if we can work on that, not only it will improve the GDP, and it will also improve the overall carbon footprint per capita GDP. Now let's talk about, as we are talking about, I was telling okay, if we work on this side, we might improve our GDP also in that sense by reducing this 13% to some other single digit. That's the target of the global major developed nations. So it shows that by improving sustainability or lasting, you can also improve cost, maybe bring the efficiency. But most of the, I think, you can say end users see sustainability as a cost burden for them. They don't relate that sustainability comes also with cost efficiency. They generally see that if you are paying something for the sustainability, it will come with an additional cost. How can we address that for any customer? How we can solve? So I will tell you example, when we were starting packaging, reusable packaging, returnable packaging, people were thinking because it comes at a heavy capex, it will increase their cost. But in most of the cases, we have been able to reduce cost for our customer. Similarly, I think will be the story for Linkmiles, whatever you are delivering to your customer. So how do you address that for the customer? So customer might be thinking, how do you give that message to customer? No, it's reducing cost also.
Yeah, I think sustainability is something that we need to look at it from a strategic sense. And when we're looking at sustainability as a strategic sense, the first thing that I would recommend people to look at is total cost of ownership rather than looking at it in a siloed manner of what the exact cost is. At Linkmiles, if you look at it, we are looking at sustainability very differently because we know last mile is inefficient. And the TCO or the total cost of ownership which an electric vehicle is supposed to deliver to a customer is not getting delivered. And that's because there are a lot of inefficiencies in the system and we are trying to address those inefficiencies. The first one would be, how do we utilize the asset better? How do we solution and give the customer something that we are able to monitor the operational metrics, that we are able to deliver more value for the same cost that they are incurring. And the third one in the ecosystem, especially if the rider, how do we enhance the rider earnings a little bit more through which the rider practices sustainable in his own way, which is enabling the customer to achieve the entire TCO. So this is how I feel that with a little bit of solutioning, a lot of use of technology and asset utilization principles, we can deliver sustainability at a lower cost, which is exactly what we have embarked upon in Linkmiles to do it.
So yeah, I completely relate to that because we were analysis data for one of the company. I will not name them. It's on the similar space for carbon credit project, and we saw that only 40 to 50% of their fleet is getting utilized. Most of them remaining are idle. I don't know. Maybe the reason can be something driver or they are not getting delivery, something like that. But yeah, the first point is complete utilization and TCO concept. I think that will solve the overall value creation or cost optimization for any customer. Now, coming to the scope 3 side of the emission, because when we talk about supply chain, it's mainly scope 3 for most of the company. It's a huge, for most of the manufacturing company, 90% plus is scope 3 emission. And it constitutes around almost 15 elements in that. So if somebody is trying to solve scope 3 emission for them, kind of just starting to solve, what do you think is the low hanging fruit or first thing they should start targeting so that they get immediate result?
Okay, first thing is, I think anything that we need to improve, we need to first measure. So I would rather say go one step further down and say that first everybody should measure what is the carbon that they are kind of emitting right now and how they can get a visibility on that. So visibility is number one that I would put into. Once we have visibility, I think there will be definitely transparency that will be there, because across the value chain, everybody would know what exactly they're contributing and how it is. So the the lowest hanging fruit would be visibility, and then taking some baby steps in starting somewhere and saying that I would go about improving it. It could be in electrification of their fleet in the last mile, or it could be some simple things that they do in their manufacturing setup. But I would rather say that once you measure and you are transparent about it and you make it visible to everyone, I think the first step is already taken, and then improvements will follow.
Yes.
Henceforth.
So knowing where you stand, that's the starting point. That's the starting point. Completely agree. Now coming to your startup journey, entrepreneurship journey. and you mentor also a lot of startups. So if you want to give some piece of advice, how do you do this mindset shift? Because most of the startup, I think till 1 or 2 years back, they were chasing multiples, valuations and revenue top line, and they were not growing sustainably in that sense. So one mindset shift that you would like to guide them so that they start thinking their business sustainably from the day one itself.
I think growth is obviously, business is all about growth, and everybody should drive growth.
Definitely.
And I'm completely for it. But I would like to slightly change the narrative to saying it's not either sustainability or growth, or it is not sustainability at scale and not for me now. I think sustainability must become a core design principle of every business if an entrepreneur has to really succeed. What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is sustainability should get embedded in every activity that we do. And that will automatically attract the right kind of investor and obviously the right kind of valuations thereafter. It will attract the right kind of talent. It will have the right kind of customers, and it will have the right kind of customer experience, and it should get embedded into your product design. So if you look at growth in silo and sustainability in silo, I think all what you say would be the way people will grapple with, is it for me now or is it the right stage? But if you change it into a design principle where you are looking at it from everything that you do from a first principle basis, then I think it becomes easier to say that sustainability gets embedded in everything that we do, whether it's attracting investors, capital, or whether it is in talent, or whether it is in customer or customer experience.
Yes. Now I think this is the section that I asked my team to introduce at the last moment, because wherever I'm going, I'm seeing, yes, it is playing a very, very important role in each and every segment. That's the technology, and that also AI largely. So from you, because you have definitely because of the longer journey that you have, around I think 5 years back, I don't think AI was making creating such a impact. But right now we are seeing AI is creating an impact in each and every segment. So any thought or any use case that you think AI will play a role in the decarbonization side of the journey, or you can say supply chain or logistic side of the journey?
I think AI is a game changer. I mean, I have lived here for long enough to understand. I can take back, I tell all my team members as well, in the 90s when we started off with something called internet, nobody knew how internet is going to change life at that point in time. Today we know how it has really changed, whether it's in terms of content, communication, or in terms of collaboration, or in terms of commerce. In every area that you can look at it, internet has changed the way we live. I think AI is something as game changer as it is, and you're right, it's happening in the last 2 years. And definitely everybody should embrace it. Today it's a very big black box, and it's, if I can use the word, sexy to say AI, but it will go beyond this and it will make us live better. I can give you a small use case, what we are trying to do in Linkmiles. So in Linkmiles, we are saying that our AI will actually look at what is the driver behavior that we would like to get, so that the driver earns more, and the driver earns more in his own way. We are making it very practical for him. He will be retained in the business better, and he will use the EV vehicle, because of which his earnings will go up, and therefore that is towards the larger cost of sustainability or larger cost of net zero in the overall sense. So even simple experiments that you take where you put it into practical use, where it makes meaningful sense to the ground operators, I think that would be a very simple use case that we as a startup are using it. But there are multiple areas in which, whether it's asset utilization, cross deployment of assets, or whether it is in your business, how do we track and trace the assets that you're sending along with your transporting vehicles, then multiple cases in which AI can play a significant role in ensuring that we do business sustainably, and it's a win-win for everyone.
There's some great takeaways from this section of sustainability and technology and climate tech. So I would like to end this round, and the last round is some quick fire questions we will ask, just so that audience knows you also better in that sense. Are we ready for that?
Sure.
So, one startup trend you are excited about in 2025?
I would say that's the place where sustainability meets fintech. I think we have all talked a lot about sustainability, but if sustainability is not funded enough, then I don't think sustainability can really take off. So there are exciting fintech companies that are coming in where they're going to look at outcome-based funding, and I think that's a trend which I'm very excited about.
Net zero, overused buzzword or essential reality?
It's an essential reality. Today it's an overused buzzword, but it's an essential reality. I think it's a word for survival in the future. From reality, it will become a survival word.
So, any recent book or the past book or podcast that you recommend to every founders?
I mean, one podcast which I listen to very extensively is, and they've come back again, is First Principles by the Ken. They interview all the successful founders in India, all the people who have made it big. And it's a very interesting podcast. They had stopped it for a year, Rohan Dharmakumar, and it's come back again. So I listen to it very extensively, learn a lot from it, and I would recommend every budding founder to listen to it as far as possible.
Okay, definitely I will listen. I have not listened to him till now. Morning routine, is it structure or spontaneity?
Morning, it always starts with spontaneity. I'm an afternoon guy.
Okay.
Over the period of the day, it becomes more structured.
And if that's the last question, if you could solve one sustainability challenge overnight, what would it be?
I would like to see every gig delivery worker given an EV and a meaningful earning, and they get dignified living. And if I'm able to transform that in the next 5 years, I think that would be the most satisfying moment for me. Every single gig worker in the country riding an EV and not working in a very polluted environment.
That was very heartfelt message, and I think that was the last question. So thank you for giving your time. I will say, for me it was very, very insightful, and I know my audience will also agree with it. It has been very, very insightful session from your side. Some real life practical examples we have come to know. Thank you again, sir, for coming and sharing your thought, wisdom and knowledge of last so many years.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you. It's a pleasure being here on a podcast with you. We both worked together for a long time, but I'm seeing you successful in Fitsol and growing, and your podcast is definitely going to reach out to lots of people. Wishing you all the very best.
Thank you. So yeah, that's the wrap for today's episode. For everyone who wants to understand sustainability, make a career in this, or want to have some real life time examples, please stay tuned to this 2 Degree Talk, which comes every week for you. Thank you.